Let's see what we're going to talk about today. Does climate affect sound?
Oh my.
Yes. See if we clip the meters on that one. I don't know. Just kind of so like if it's raining cats and dogs, does it sound worse? Your hair gets wet, it'd be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got some predicaments there, I guess.
You were just saying that in the shower. Your hair was longer doing this
Oh,
during
yeah.
this whole at-home thing, and you couldn't hear with your hair wet.
That's no. Yeah.
Now it just got cut. So
Yeah,
teach
yeah,
you
we're
to
good
let
now, yeah.
Tim too.
Yeah.
I got to go in for a trim myself.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Now that the gentleman's open.
Yeah.
It's a gentleman's barbershop.
Yeah, but does climate affect sound? So this is hi-fi.
I always listen to it indoors.
Yeah. Right. We're talking from the perspective that a minor difference can be pretty significant. Right. It's not like you're not going to get major differences from climate, generally speaking, outside of some unusual technologies. But with headphones especially, there can be some impact on how climate affects the actual perceived sound. With the electronics, typically not so much.
Yeah, I don't think electronics would really care.
Very unlikely it'd have an impact.
Unless it's 100% humidity, you might have a problem. But
Maybe
yeah.
in some outliers, yeah. But generally speaking,
You
no.
dump a pitcher of water on it.
Not recommended, yeah.
Yeah.
But with headphones, yeah, you actually can get some impact in sound. And I guess that's something that's not well understood for the most part.
It probably depends on the driver technology.
Very
too.
much so, yeah.
Yeah. I know people have said with speakers they've tested that, and I guess that humidity can play a factor with like
Well,
the way the woofer
wood.
moves. Or
Wood too.
that's true. Yeah, humidity.
depends on
and-
everything.
Yeah, right. If something's
Depends
made
on
of
design,
wood or
yeah.
something that it might absorb.
Resonate
Yeah,
differently.
most plastics wouldn't really do that, and metals, of course, don't absorb moisture.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. A cabinet would definitely could be affected.
Depends on all the fastening methods too.
Yeah.
If it's glued, it can have some impact in the actual integrity of the entire housing or the enclosure of the speaker. It's not going to be zero, but it's going to be pretty low.
I imagine if you live in an area that's higher humidity, that everything kind of gets somewhat saturated. Where,
Yeah,
and I mean, that moisture content in the materials would add mass and weight to
Yeah,
like
sure.
a woofer or
Yeah, but as long as it doesn't change, it would always sound the same, though. If it's always really high.
Well, that's
humidity.
true. You wouldn't know the difference.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but it would change the sound depending on,
Yeah.
like, take that same speaker and take it to the Antarctic.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
not minus 10 degrees, but I'm just or 30 or 50 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But in a rather average living temperature, yeah, I would imagine it would be dry there, relatively speaking. Like
Yeah.
let's say you're at 20% humidity.
But that would be a pretty slow impact for the most part, and it's not going to be something you notice on a day-to-day basis, whereas temperature is the kind of thing you could see significant differences
Yeah, I
over the
think
course of a
temperature
day.
more than anything.
Temperature would be the more impact.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, you could vary 10 degrees or
you could
so.
have 10, 15, 20 degree
Easy.
differences, at least in
Especially if you go
Fahrenheit,
outdoors
since
with your
it's less.
headphones.
Right,
You're
Yeah.
not in an environmentally controlled area.
yeah.
Yeah, on
Yeah,
a
depending
beach,
on the
85
driver.
degrees. Yeah.
Depending on the driver technology,
I don't know if you'd notice
that
it,
changes
though.
things a bit.
I don't know if you'd really notice, like, who the hell does critical listening on the beach,
Well,
right? Or wherever, And then normally you got noise around you anyway if you're not
Yeah.
at home. So I think that would probably mask any kind of minor perceived changes. Temperature varies the tension on planar diaphragms to some respect.
Yeah, we should probably get into that a bit more.
So yeah, that's just in the base region mainly it's going to affect, and so you get
For the most part,
yeah.
yeah.
you get a little more deeper, fuller bottom end, I guess, when the temperatures drop.
Right.
Well, I know, like, dynamics, it's a big thing, like, in car audio, because since your car's outside, when it's, like,
Oh, yeah.
-3 outside,
Yeah.
the subs and stuff, they get really stiff.
Yeah, right. Agreed.
Really, really
Yeah,
stiff.
materials do definitely stiffen up when
Yeah.
you're talking
Yeah.
about that.
when it's really cold,
Really
big
cold.
difference, yeah.
Yeah, any rubber surrounding
Yeah.
gets stiff.
Most
Yeah.
things are designed to operate around a predictable temperature range, not -20
Yeah.
to positive 1,000,000 or something. You have typically temperatures that humans consider tolerable, and for the most part, that's where things are designed to operate.
So what, in the winter you think we turn up the volume in our car?
I
never really thought
and
about
the
the
amps
changes
run
in
really
sound.
cold, too. It does sound different
Yeah, it
when
does.
it's really cold
Yeah,
out.
it definitely is better when the car gets warmer.
Yeah.
Then again, you're freezing your nuts
That's
off.
the other thing. You're also cold.
Well, you got a lot of other factors though, because the entire
You go
car
out,
is
it's
cold.
like 20
so
degrees in the car. It's like, oof.
Yeah.
You get panels and stuff that are more likely to make creaks and whatnot when they're cold.
Yeah.
So there's all different kinds of factors involved there.
Well, then the question is, do your eardrums change too when they're cold like that? Anyone? I've never,
Yeah.
I've never even looked that
They're
up.
thermally stabilized. They should be a little bit closer to
They're
operating
pretty warm
temperature
inside,
year-round.
but
Yeah.
they gotta, well, I guess
Yeah.
air, I don't know how well, it's still gotta cool it off a bit. Well, there's a fluid in your ear, right? That's making intimate
I don't think you're
contact
going to
with your
hit
eardrum.
considerable differences.
So
in
your eardrums
temperature
probably,
in your ear.
you're right, it probably stays
In your
pretty warm.
inner ear, at
I never
least.
heard anyone freezing their eardrums.
No. I mean,
Probably
Well,
not.
my ears freeze.
If you're
Well, yeah.
living, that seems unlikely that would occur.
But what if your
I
ears
don't
are frozen? Then you put headphones on, does the sound change the sound? Now,
Yeah.
because this is,
Yeah, maybe.
does this get,
Maybe.
cartilage get stiffer when it's really cold? I don't know. It starts
Sure.
to hurt.
I don't think that's going to make a big difference.
Frostbite kicks in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway.
we're talking about changes.
Yeah.
In order to hear a change in sound, you've got to be there. So, like, I would think the human
Well,
factor is just as much as the mechanical.
Probably
thing
more
side
so.
of it, you know?
In this situation.
Yeah.
I mean, I would think it's hard to do critical listening when you're frozen, when you're cold.
Well, yeah, it wouldn't be very enjoyable.
You're shivering, like, you get to that point where you're shaking a little bit or something. You know how your jaw can tighten up sometimes,
Yeah,
like your
yeah,
mouth's like,
yeah.
shit, it's cold.
Yeah.
It's got to affect all the muscles pulling. It's got to affect listening for sure.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I don't even think I'd want to listen when I'm cold. You know what I mean?
But back to the root
There'd have to be
question.
some warm songs, man.
Oh, here we go. I don't know what that is, but
I mean, either.
Temperature impact.
Maybe someone could put a comment of some warm songs we listen to.
Oh my goodness.
If some
Anyway.
guy has a hot tub in his listening room,
Yeah,
somebody somewhere has a pair of speakers in front of a hot tub.
probably.
well, that's true.
Some guy somewhere has probably put on a pair of Dianas in a hot tub.
Yeah, a hot tub with Diana's. That sounds scary.
It's probably fine.
Yeah. It's probably
I've
fine.
actually never done that.
Yeah, me neither.
Me neither.
Well, I don't think usually you're in a hot tub with somebody else and you're kind of talking.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I've ever been in a hot tub just zoning out by myself. It just sounds like a bad idea.
Fall asleep with your
Yeah,
headphones
right.
on.
Yeah, right. That just doesn't sound good. Not that you'd tip over, but you might.
Yeah. Well, you'd wake up pretty quick.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, you probably would want to avoid wearing headphones of any design in a sauna, or like leaving them on the dash of your car or something like that when a sunny
Well,
day.
yeah, particularly
That
because
kind of stuff is
like coordinated
that's a bad
water is
idea.
not good for any electronics.
Yeah.
Because it's humid, it's bubbly, sparkly, it's spitting water all over, and chlorine isn't good for any electronics. It tends to cause corrosion, doesn't it, to a lot of metals? Or
Sure,
any-
I would avoid
any electrical device.
getting most things wet.
That
with
which
chlorinated
brings up
water.
another point. You're sitting in a whole tub of water.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. How that
Yeah, we
is.
got like hold the
I mean,
cables
it's
out of the
isolated,
water.
I guess, but I don't know about that whole idea.
Not recommended.
Yeah.
I wouldn't play anything that's plugged into a wall,
Right,
coming
that too.
into your body.
That's the
Anywhere
bigger
touching
thing.
your body in a body of water.
You got to imagine it's occurred.
A portable battery operated, you'd never hear about someone be stupid enough to die because they put their headphones on and hooked it up to a tube amp that
Yeah, well.
happened to be throwing 200 volts on its chassis, and you didn't know it because you disconnected the ground to get rid of the hum.
Well, if you disconnect the ground, you should be isolated.
No,
grab
I
anything
don't
that's
think you'd be
grounded.
isolated because you're in the water and you don't know where that's going. You know,
That's
Depends
true.
on the hot tub.
it
design.
depends on the
Yeah.
hot tub, yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, you got to assume that
Yeah, it's
that hot
location.
tub's on a GFI and properly wired and all
Mm.
that stuff. Anyway, I don't think I'd want to be hooked up to electronics sitting in a
Yeah,
hot
so
tub.
not recommended
Yeah,
because of that.
No, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll just skip that.
But
whole
do the
idea.
temperature and humidity, do the atmospheric conditions have an impact? And the answer is yes. In every case, I don't see a driver technology that won't have some degree of impact with temperature and humidity. However, outside of extremes, it's got to be pretty minor.
What about barometric pressure? No idea.
That seems pretty unlikely to have any impact. It theoretically will have increased damping
Uh,
on any driver design. 'Cause there's
Can't
going to
be
be more
much.
molecules on either side. Right?
Yeah, it's
a more,
equal.
It's a more
Never really
viscous
thought about
material, but not particularly exciting, I don't think.
I don't know
I
how
think
much
it's
that
pretty
varies.
unlikely.
Like I know when a storm comes in,
Yeah.
it drops, but I'm not really sure.
You have very
how much
little
it
control
really
over
does.
that
I don't
one.
pay
so,
attention to that one so
Eh.
much. You know, who does? I mean, I got this cool little old wooden meter from probably the 1950s hanging on
Mhm.
the wall that shows barometric pressure. but-
yeah.
Yeah.
So it hovers around 30 or something like that, you know, but I set a line, you know, it's got a little dial, so you set it so you know if it's below or above or wherever it is, but I never look at the goddamn thing. I have no
Well-
idea what, I don't, I wonder how many people actually even pay attention to barometric pressure.
Even if it matters,
Just the
though.
meteorologist.
What do you like? All right, you draw a line. This is where I'm going to listen to my stuff when it hits this pressure.
Yeah, but actually it's not a big deal. So let's say that there's actually an optimum point where temperature, barometric, and humidity, the music is unbelievable at that point.
Uh-huh.
And of course, that would vary depending on the device, on the speaker technology.
yeah.
Yeah. So you'd have to find out yourself. So
Yeah.
They used to have one back in the day when I was a kid. My parents had this triple banger gauge thing.
Oh, yeah.
It had all three, right? Temperature, humidity, and barometric. So you'd need that or a digital equivalent.
They're
of
digital
it.
now,
Yeah,
yeah.
right. That, and then start recording when the sound's better. Of course, then you got to plot that against what time of day it is, because power quality matters, right? Usually power quality is better at night. So there's a lot of variables. I don't even know if we got to worry about temperature and humidity so much. Not that you could do a hell of a lot about it.
Well, temperature and humidity you have impact over typically.
Indoors.
Indoors. Yeah.
Pressure, that's a tricky one
Yeah.
to do anything about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be too concerned
Live in a
about that.
pressure vessel.
And that, I would imagine there's near zero audible impact on pressure, unless you got some real weird driver design.
Well,
then I guess it's possible.
What do headphones sound like on a space station?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, what do they sound like out there? I have no idea. Do you think
Same
they're-
as here.
Atmospheric conditions aren't too dissimilar. Relatively, you don't experience gravity because the craft you're in is traveling at the same speed and trajectory as you.
Oh,
But you happen to be moving sideways at the same rate you're falling towards the Earth.
You're just
So
falling
relatively,
constantly. You're on the same
Yeah,
speed.
there's no acceleration.
Oh, I see.
So that's why you stay in the structure.
Well, because
Yeah.
if there was,
And
you'd be
you
pinned to the
appear to
back of the
float.
station.
It's like perpetual free fall. Yeah, the forces are only experienced by the vessel you happen to be in, and they're very, very low.
I mean, you
There's a
gotta,
few
you gotta
molecules out
assume they
there.
have headphones up there, but they probably got like in-ears or
NASA
something really light.
headphones.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
what they
Yeah.
use. I don't know.
Have you ever seen them listen to music? I don't know. What do they use when they're talking on the camera?
I don't know.
Speakers and crummy laptops. I don't know.
I
Yeah,
don't
the
know.
sound quality does kind of
Yeah,
suck.
it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were saying, can't they do better than that?
Well, I'm sure they can.
They
but-
don't prioritize that
yeah.
for some reason.
Weight's
Yeah.
a problem, you know.
Yeah.
I think
Maybe
they
you
need-
get some space headphones and ship a pair up.
Yeah, we could make a set of we could make really lightweight planar drivers from
Mhm.
taking space.
Well, the whole headphone needs to be light.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you could thin it out to what, 30 thou or something?
Oh, yeah.
Just a shell.
It's 35 now.
Okay, 25.
20.
Okay.
Make a Diana with no headband.
Hmm.
It fits in the helmet.
NASA
Lightweight
white.
NASA edition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. They probably got some baller metals that are lighter than aluminum that are stiff.
Well, yeah.
It ain't worth it.
Not really.
What do you, two? Make
I
two.
don't know. Let's get Elon on the horn.
Okay.
See if he wants us to make
Yeah, we'll
us
give him a call.
custom headphones for the next flight.
Yeah, no
Perfect.
problem.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Any color he wants.
Hmm.
As long as it's white.
Yeah.
Do
We
a
could match
sick
the color.
engraving on it.
We could match the color of the car that's in space.
Well,
The Roadster.
Yeah, the Roadster.
The
That's
cherry
red.
red.
yeah. They were just talking about how far that thing is out. It's pretty. Obviously, it's the farthest a car's ever been away from here.
well, yeah.
It's pretty far, man.
Pretty far, yeah.
It's
but
like I forgot what the millions of miles or something.
Well,
like
yeah,
that.
it went past Mars's orbit.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus, that's
well,
crazy.
I believe it's on its way back right now.
Even so, if you were on that with a helmet and then had the headphones in the helmet,
Well, yeah, you could do
There you
that.
go. Now
Yeah.
you're thinking.
there's no humidity.
Well, you can make whatever you want.
whatever's in
Presumably
the
they
air.
would humidify, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if they do that.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Well,
Pretty
you are
uncomfortable.
humidifying it, though, yourself.
Yeah, it's
breathing.
true. It's true.
Oh yeah, right.
Because they got to dry those spacesuits out.
They got something going on.
They
for
dry
sure.
them out.
Oh,
Yeah, after the launch,
that's true. You got to
they
exhale.
dry them out.
Yeah,
Then just wear something else.
yeah.
They only put the suit on when they need it.
So it goes from like probably 0 humidity to 100%.
Probably pretty high. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, till you start frogging up. Yeah, like you said, it's probably got something in it to get rid of it.
Well, the visors are heated.
And so I think space is a tricky one.
That's a whole different thing.
Yeah, we're gonna have to send a pair of headphones up there next shuttle mission and have them,
Well, the shuttle
have them
doesn't
test
exist.
that before and after. Let us know if how much the sound
You
changes.
might be
in
waiting a
space.
while if you're waiting for the shuttle.
Oh, not the shuttle, but whatever they call the new one now.
Crew Dragon.
Yeah, that.
It's like a month or two is
Oh,
the next one.
Yeah. And maybe if
Yeah.
maybe we ship up their headphones. Nah, that's
Yeah,
got to be a bitch
no
to
doubt.
get things certified. You think they could just take like stuff
Absolutely. Just whatever.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
show
yeah,
them
just-
stuff, they'll
like that?
bring
It's
it
just
up.
a magnet.
Who
Yeah.
cares? Yeah.
Strong magnet.
Yeah, it might not be a thing that they would be into.
Yeah, maybe they can't do that. Yeah. We probably have to put a shield on the magnet so it doesn't affect any kind of guidance systems or something. Anyway, we're rambling on about the fact that,
Yeah.
yeah, so back to Earth.
Okay.
It's 2020. It's,
Is it?
yeah, what is it now? It's June.
October.
June, yeah.
Feels like October.
Yeah.
It's June, except now it's getting hot out, so it's not
Yeah.
October.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know that.
Mm.
Yeah. So I think what I'm going to do now that we're done talking about this is I'm going to go, now that it's going to be like close to 90 this week,
Gonna go outside.
degrees, yeah, I'm going to go outside with with a Diana.
Go for a walk in a
With a
park.
Diana Phi. Yeah.
And don't do much of that.
And I'll see like what it's like. Temperature change in particular, it definitely affects sound, but I think it affects your person too, the way you perceive it,
Well, of course.
you know? And then, of course, someone should probably bring up the fact that, can you measure it? Can you measure the
I'm sure you
difference?
can.
Yeah.
You know?
Probably.
Probably in the base,
Yeah.
Yeah.
response.
Yeah.
Should vary.
Yep.
Especially if
Right.
tension varies, it's definitely gonna vary.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the thinner and the lighter the diaphragm, the more that is a possibility, depending on how the structure is built and
Yeah,
frame.
we
and
can
all
give a
that.
little summary of that because different drivers are made out of different materials, right? The entire structure that holds the driver, the diaphragm, even on conventional drivers, there's different materials across the surface. The coil itself, I mean, everything's different, right? So the challenge with that is different materials have different rates of thermal expansion. And so as the temperature changes, they expand and contract at different rates. So that means the tolerances, the relative dimensions between the parts change as the temperature changes.
Yeah, metals change their dimensions relatively way less compared to like plastics.
Yeah.
Right. Very much depends on the plastic, but all kinds of materials have very different rates of expansion as the temperature changes. And
Anything
so,
resin-based or plastic-based tends to expand and contract
Yeah.
a lot more per degree change than
Typically.
anything metallic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
but what this means is things are tends to be designed around operating conditions. They tend to be designed around nominal conditions that most people experience. But if you're at much higher or much lower temperatures, the design is effectively different by a very small amount.
Yeah.
Because things are in a different spot than they were, because the dimensions of the parts are different. And this affects everything, every design of driver, as
Yeah.
far as I know. It would be probably rather challenging to come across a design that has some sort of guaranteed tensioning system or a mounting apparatus that doesn't change with temperature whatsoever. And there's no reason for that aside from absolute necessity if you were for some reason needed a driver to operate in several 100-degree temperature range
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that wouldn't be bearable.
Yeah, for a human to use it on a headphone, there's really no purpose.
Yeah.
You don't need to wear them in 1,000,000 degrees and negative 1,000,000 degrees. So,
We've learned to optimize our drivers for temperature over
of
time.
course,
They're very stable at low
Yeah.
temps below, like, your normal room temperature.
Well,
A few degrees makes a big difference can make a big
It can.
difference.
It can,
on,
yeah.
On it, yeah.
but I think the biggest thing is it's kind of a self-correcting system because they heat themselves up.
Yeah, it's true.
It's a
Once you-
heater.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, so to speak. yeah.
Eventually, they'll warm up to,
Well, In
depending on how.
In
hard you're
converting
playing.
the power to
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
motion,
cooling it.
most of that is wasted and
Yeah.
given off as heat, which warms the diaphragm and,
Mhm.
and ultimately the assembly. That's true.
Yeah.
If you took we've done this many times. You take a cold headphone like out of a car, or wherever. It just came in UPS, right? You hook it up, you play it on a fairly loud volume for like an hour, and the whole thing will get above room temperature.
Oh, yeah.
You can feel.
I did it yesterday,
You can
actually.
almost feel the warmth coming off the driver.
Yeah.
Did you?
I played 30 hertz test tone
Yeah.
at full volume on the moon for about 10
Don't do
minutes.
this at home.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole enclosure actually gets warm to the touch.
Yeah. It probably goes up about 10, 15 degrees, I'd say.
Oh, it's more than that.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. Well, you're putting 10 watts into it.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
5 watt, yeah, that's true per
Yeah,
side.
yeah.
Yeah.
peak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peak. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not really 10.
I don't know exactly what it
Yeah,
is, but
it ain't 10. That's
Yeah.
not a good thing.
No, no.
Long term, you don't want to do that. But right, we
Yeah.
can get away with that because we're crazy.
yeah.
And we can replace it. But yeah, that's too hot.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say don't do
Yeah.
it.
What were
but,
you doing that for?
Just testing something.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put full volume on the moon with 30 hertz. See if see if it's going to blow up.
No. It didn't make any. It was just perfectly silent.
Yeah.
You didn't. Well, I did it so then you couldn't hear it anywhere else.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't. You couldn't hear anything.
I didn't notice it.
Yeah.
Then again, it doesn't produce enough bass to really travel through a building. You know what I mean?
No.
It's a headphone, not a damn
Yeah.
big band speaker.
Yeah.
Basically, what's occurring is the diaphragm is producing heat, giving off heat.
Yeah.
The trace pattern itself, the conductive traces,
Yeah.
metallic gets given off heat. That heat is basically absorbed, or in some sense, the diaphragm's cooled by the magnet structure directly next to it. The magnet's at a lower temperature typically.
Well, the whole
The
frame.
diaphragm gets hot
Depends on the
fast.
duration.
It
Yeah.
reacts very quickly in
Yeah.
response
Yeah.
to the music. It's basically radiating the heat into the magnet structure, which is way more massive. And so the magnet's actually keeping the diaphragm cool, along with 30 hertz, which is actually kind of like making a breeze.
Yeah.
That helps too. But so in essence, having a cooler magnet structure actually keeps the diaphragm from burning up in that sense. If that heavy massive structure wasn't there, the diaphragm would probably overheat
Yeah.
because it wouldn't have a means of really
Can't really test it.
you know,
without
it would be dissipating in the air, but it wouldn't have that cooler magnet structure behind it. So the mag structure, of course, that whole structure, when a headphone like ours is cold, that whole structure has to warm too.
Right.
Yeah.
The magnet's really cold.
Oh, it takes a
So,
lot.
Yeah, it takes a long time. It's not gonna
Comparatively,
happen in 2
actually,
minutes.
our driver structure has a lot more thermal mass than most other designs. And there's pros and cons to that, but it also means that it's able to shed a lot more heat.
Well, since the whole thing's metal too, it dissipates that heat through the whole headphone too.
Right.
Like on 1266, yeah, we did like 20 some watts into one for like a half hour. The whole thing gets hot. The whole headphone.
Yeah.
Yeah, the frame assembly gets
They'll,
hot.
yeah, they'll keep playing, and the whole thing just
I don't
hot.
think it was 20 watts though.
Oh, it was the receiver, full power.
It was like 14 or something.
I thought it was
I
like-
measured it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you measured
It's
it.
a lot.
It was a
I
I
lot.
think you can only get away
Don't
with you
do
could,
that.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't do that. You can only do that with like heavy bass, I think, because you got to have the air motion
Yeah.
Yeah.
to cool the trace.
Yeah.
The trace will overheat and it'll start to melt the material, the
Right.
Yeah,
base material.
it did.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
It melted.
Well, yeah. Well,
yeah.
once again,
Yeah.
you're abusing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's what we do. That way we know
Yeah.
we know what abuse looks like because we do it.
Mm-hmm.
So when a headphone comes in and we tell you it's abused, it's abused. You know.
Yeah.
Most of the time it is. We've seen less of that. We've been
Yeah,
just talking
not
about
much.
that. There's less and less of that now. I think we're off topic again.
Mm.
A bit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
weather.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell we even talking about.
Obama.
The space station was in there.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Some inaccurate shuttle
We gotta
things.
get some headphones in space. That would be awesome.
I know the guy.
Yeah.
You just gotta.
You own his cars.
Give him a call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just pop a
Just tweet him. Twitter him.
quick tweet.
Tweet.
Yeah, he'd be on board. No
Yeah.
problem.
Man, you have to
Why
make
not? What does he care?
Yeah.
Well, he needs a pair first, though.
Well, that's easy.
Yeah.
You get him one too.
Hmm.
Cherry red.
Okay.
Anyway, I think we're done. So yes,
It could matter.
it could
Maybe,
matter.
but generally not.
It's
really.
nothing really to worry about.
No,
there.
it's not. No, I think you just need to be yourself.
As long as it's comfortable, not super duper hot or super cold, not really a problem.
Yeah, no, right.
As long as you're in those conditions,
Yeah.
Right.
it's probably going to be okay.
Yeah, don't listen in a freezer.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
good idea.
Or underwater.
Or underwater.
Unless you happen to work there. They'll work.
Underwater?
No, in the freezer.
In a freezer.
Oh.
I don't know how good they'll work underwater. Not good.
No.
Not
not
great.
good.
No.
Not recommended.
No, they won't be able to move water.
No.
No.
We gotta try that one day.
Oh, I've tried.
In the hot
I've
tub.
tried it.
Yeah?
Tried it. Yeah.
It doesn't work.
No.
Not recommended.
No, I think you need a lot of power.
Oh.
You need a bit more.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks for subscribing and watching our show, and give us a thumbs up if you like what we're doing, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone.